everyone, it's me, Avatar Klash, and today we're going over a deck list that I came to locals with. It's a Raging Bolt list. I'm really shocked that this did well, considering my list did not have a lot of the staples, like Ultra Balls and Bravery Charms. Like, I'm serious, this is the list, and I somehow got an undefeated record with it at my local tournament, and it is a little chaotic, so I can't show you what I got because there are no prizes, which is really sad for me, but you can't take away the fact that I went undefeated with this list, so there's that. Anyways, I'll go into more details about the list and gameplay action in a future video, but for now I'm just going to tell you what happened. So my matchups were against Guardy, Terapagos, Dusknoir, Goldango, and Iron Thorns, but it is a little bit hectic, so you may want to stick around in case you want to hear the tea. So first match was against Guardy, against a really we become friends now. Like, we played each other I played him 3 out of the 4 times I've actually gone to locals. So we played each other, and he was like, "Are you gonna play Zard against me again?" And I'm like, "No, I'm trying something different." It's a surprise, and then it's like, oh, he got scared with my Raging Bolt. I had the opportunity for turn 1 knockout, and you want to know what happened? I whiffed. Like, I didn't get the energy required to knock out even the Monkey Dory. It was sad. It was tragic. But the fact that he went first is, like, good for me, because it's not like he could get to Guardy immediately. So there's that, I guess. Anyways, I got turn 2 KO, like my turn 2 KO, got rid of Monkey Dory at least, so that was fine for now. He ended up, let's just say, getting Curly and active, refining, and then doing the conceal cards and all that. I wasn't totally terrified, if I'm gonna be honest with you. And so he ended up knocking out my Raging Bolt with the Drifloon after unfair stamping me and all, but the unfair stamp gave me 2 cards that I needed, and you want to know what they are? Fezzidippity and Sada. I'm not even joking. And so it was like, well, you gave me a good hand anyway. I'm not complaining. I get to see 6 cards the next turn, so I'm not gonna tell him that right away. I let him have his fun, but it was like, alright, I'm not so terrified. Thank you for the luck, universe. So I basically let him have his turn, knock out my Raging Bull, and then I set up like Fez, flip the script, Sawdust Vitality. But with those 2 cards, first I ended up getting my Lost Vacuum combo, and that is huge because I'm on 5, he's on 4. So it's like I got the Drifloon. Yeah, it's Drifloon. I Lost Vacuum the Bravery Charm on Drifloon. Bye-bye Drifloon. And then he puts out Guardy anyway. Like, it helped me out. And so he puts up Guardy. I get a 3 prize turn, essentially. So I'm at 2 prizes left while he's at 4. And I'm like with a 8 to 10 card hand, so I have like Prime Catcher for game, so I'm like sitting there. The only thing I'm thinking is, hopefully he doesn't Iono me. He already used his unfair stamp, but hopefully he doesn't Iono me, because it will take me a while to find whatever I need. So the good thing about this is that he doesn't really get what he needs. So he just Arvins, gets Guardy. I think he even sequenced, to be honest, but I'll take it for a dub. He missequenced, and he knocks out I can't remember whether it was my Pheasantipity or just my Greninja for the KO. But either way, I end up winning because I put up my Ogerpon first. I have Prime Catcher in hand still, so it's like, oh, I get my Night Stretcher or Recovery. I essentially get Recovery and a Raging Bolt, so it's like, oh, okay, I win because I saw the Prime Catcher, Superior Energy Retrieval to get all the energies I need back to make sure I'm doing it properly, and then I essentially win game. So that's game 1. Then since we're the last match, and I reported the win, we go to game 2, and I'm against Terapagos Dusknoir, and I'm like, why? So it's like, okay, game plan. If I get a turn 2, like my first turn knockout, I'm gonna knock out a Duskull. I don't care about knocked out. I could care less. They're gonna get whatever they need anyway. So it's like I'm going to get knocked out. And I'm going to just do my best. I don't anticipate winning. Not that I anticipate winning any matchup, but I don't anticipate winning this particular matchup because it's so easy for them to get whatever they need. So I guess he either didn't play properly or he just didn't really have the best hand because he did research his whole hand away and it had really important cards. Like he took away a double turbo and like Dusknoir and all that and even rare candies and I'm like, ugh, that sucks for him. So yeah, I ended up knocking out the Duskull, but after that he researched his hand away. Like it was bad. So he ended up trying to research his hand away, get Buddy Buddy Profit. So he got 2 Duskull, so it's like either way, I'm gonna knock it out. Like I'm gonna knock out whatever he puts up. Like because it's like I already have like my board state sucked. I'm gonna be real with you. My board state sucked. I only had like 2 Raging Bolt and a Ogerpon. Like I didn't get Squawk, I didn't get Greninja, things like that. But it's like, no wait, I did get Greninja because he counter-captured it, thinking I wouldn't get Retrieval. But I'm like, you know what? I'll do whatever. So, important turn of the game. He evolves into Dusclops, so it's like his last Duskull on the board. And I'm like, I'm gonna Prime Catcher Terapagos, use my boss, and just knock out the Dusclops, hoping that the hard work will pay off. Because the reason why I did Duskull, I focused on Duskull instead of Knocked Owl, who whatever it is because of the fact that Duskull could help Terapagos, and he plays the double turbo. It's not like he does the Crown Opal version or Terapagos, Palkia, Dusknoir version, things like that. It's literally just like the Pidgeot quick search thing. So, in my mind, the only way to win was to get all that. Was to get rid of the Dusknoir, and it's not like easy 2-prize KOs every turn for Terapagos. But either way, he kept on bricking, I guess, and the only thing he really did was knock out my Greninja. And I'll be honest, I didn't really need Greninja anyway, so that was fine. And then I got revenge by having Fez through Nest Ball, doing my Sawdust Vitality, things like that, getting all the energies I needed, knocking out Terapagos. So I'm at like that 1 prize left because reason why it's 1 prize left is because I knocked out like 3 single prizers previously. So it's like, okay, I have 1 prize left. He's only at 1 because of the Greninja. And I'm like, he can't Dusknoir me, so he's gonna have to deal with Raging Bolt or Ogerpon or whatever. And he has this like long turn. It's practically his last turn. I'm like, bro, I have game no matter what, because he ended up Ionoing me to 1, and I have Night Stretcher, so I'm like, I could literally get whatever I want from the discard. And I know he's like taking a long time to set up so he could knock out my Pheasantipity. And he ends up getting the counter catcher, but unfortunately, due to the fact that I Pokestopped a previous turn, I know, sorry, the thing is convoluted, but I'm like, he basically had to discard a lot of his Pokemon that gets the 220 damage with the double turbo and all. He did that. He had to do that because of the fact that I put Pokestop in place of his Area Zero. So he had to take away a lot of the things that he needed. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit here, let him have his fun. And then despite doing all that, he says he gets knocked out, but I'm like, I don't think you have enough. And then he literally scoops right there and then. And I told him, he was like, I have knockout. I'm like, no, you don't have I don't think you have enough. And even if you did knock it out, I have Night Stretcher anyway, so I could get whatever I want. And he just quits. So, and he quits and drops out along with my first opponent. They both drop out, so it's like, okay, there are 7 people left in the tournament. It was a small turnout this week. Anyways, third matchup, and this is where things get really... It didn't turn out well, because I played against, the person I'm playing against with Goldango. It's Goldango now, and it's, the person I lost to when I got second place with Zarn. And so it was like, rematch. And then he plays Goldango, and I'm playing Raging Bull, and I'm like, we're basically playing whoever gets the most energies in one turn. So it was fun because he let me go first. I knew it was because he knew I was playing Raging Bull at this point. Like, we both knew what we were playing. It's a small local. So he gets a whole bench set up. And I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna boss, and hopefully this is the right strategy, boss up Bidoof so I could get a 1 prize, so I could skew his prizes, because I know for me, I know that Goldango kinda relies on Irida and Cypher Maniac more than boss, so I wasn't really anxious about getting boss KO'd. So he did knock out my Sandy Shocks. It returned. I knock out Goldango. It's a pretty even match. Iono even match. It was crazy. So what ended up happening mid-game, unfortunately, we were going back and forth. People were watching us, and one of the other guys was like, hey, something went wrong. To the other player, he's more experienced, so he relatively knows what's going on. Well, I'm just sitting there, and then I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And then he's like, the thing got reported wrong or something like that. I'm like, but I'm undefeated. I win. And then it's like, oh, not you. I mean, it was weird. It was pretty weird. We were basically told to pack it up. I mean, only if I agreed, and I would do anything to fix whatever was going on. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll fix it. I mean, I'll be honest, it could have went either way. I did whiff a KO, just barely whiff a KO. So I'm not sure who would have won. I really don't care at this point. I just want to, get to an actual match if this is not going to be considered a real match. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to agree with them and just go with what was supposed to happen. Again, you could tell me in the comments. I don't really know how pairing works. All I know is that I have a 2-0 record at this point. We were both told to just pretend this was just a fun match, and I'm like, so we'll never know how that would have turned out. And yeah, so I guess I am playing against my intended opponent now. And he's playing Iron Thorns, and I'm like, okay, this is relatively gonna be easy. All I have to do is get Canceling Cologne, or not even just get Canceling Cologne. I was basically like, I just have to not bench a lot, because I know the Pokemon Catcher, whatever, is, I guess, not helpful. And I'm like thinking, don't bench Fez. Don't bench anything that can be a liability. Only bench the ancient Pokemon if possible. So I did. And I did my Raging Bolt and Sandy Shocks. And let's just say I Pokestopped the first turn. And then he knew I was playing Canceling Cologne. So he was like, you know what? Like, that's all I did. I didn't even get to attack. Like, it was sad. I didn't even get to attack at all. It's not that I was losing. It's just, it was like, you know what? You have the win anyway. There's nothing I can do. I'm like, nothing you can do. It's only the first turn, man. But it's like, alright, that's fine. I mean, I'll take a W. We'll take those. And then, unfortunately, the power went out. The power went out. And it was like, the tournament ended up being inconclusive. So despite being undefeated at that point, because he gave me a win, I was like, oh no, I don't get any prizeable. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel salty about that. Like, oh, I got defeated. Like, I could have gotten first place, bro. Like, for the first time, I could have gotten first place, and then that happened. But at the same time, I know it's like, I did what I did. I did so well despite my Raging Bolt list being pretty unconventional. And I couldn't be prouder. The guys were proud of me for beating them, because they go to regionals, and I'm just literally a newbie player. Like, IRL. I'm literally this newbie player that appeared out of nowhere, and I'm winning against them. So I'm like, I guess I'll take that as a win. And my the Guardy player gave me a play. I guess he gave me his playmat. Like, it's a, I'm not sure if you could totally see it on the screen, but it's a Shining Legends playmat. Like, he gave it to me, and I was like, thank you. Like, I didn't expect you to do that. And he was like, nah, you could have it, and besides, we want you to use, like, a playmat that's actually the right size. So it's like, wow. So I guess that ended up being my prize. So no prize packs, but I guess it's like a treasure. He gave me a treasured playmat. Anyways, sorry for this tournament report. It ended up being a whole lot longer than intended, but it was still fun. I was kind of scared about the matchups, but now that I relatively know what to do with it, I feel better. So I guess that's my prize along with the playmat. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I'll show you some awesome gameplay with the list later, but for now, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for more fun and more Pokemon adventures. Thank you.